the class. I forgot you guys were there. Anyways, let's get started. That was fun, but we've got to cool it. Today, guys, we are going to be talking about themes. And do you guys know that there are multiple themes inside of a text? Yes, there's more than just one. Sometimes you can find 2, 3, 4, even 5 themes inside of a text. So today, we're going to practice to do this. So, today we're going to put our investigative hats on. And yesterday, remembered I asked you guys to find lines inside of the text that explain the speaker's relationship to reading. So, today, I want you guys to tell me the line of the poem that explains the speaker's relationship to reading and how this line shows that relationship. We're going to do this through a Flipgrid activity. The Flipgrid is going to be posted inside of Schoology. You're going to see a tab that looks something like this that's going to say Poem Activity, Evidence Activity. This is where you are going to show me and talk to me about the line that best explains the speaker's relationship to reading. This does not have to be this long, guys. This can be a 20-second video or a 30-second video. And there's cool features inside where you can cover your face with cute little emojis if you would like. So, let's get started with our Flipgrid. If you guys would like to pause here, now is the time to go and work on your Flipgrid activity, telling me the line of the poem that explains the speaker's relationship to reading. Now that you guys have shown me or told me about the speaker's relationship to reading, I'm so excited because now we're going to get started on themes. And we talked about this in the beginning where there are multiple themes inside of a poem. So today, I want us to go ahead and listen to the poem again. I know we've been reading this a lot, but there's a reason why we keep reading the poem. Remember, this is an instructional strategy that is very important. You should always read what you're going to be analyzing before you analyze it.
At a time when there was no TV before 3 p.m., and on Sunday none until 5, we sat on front porches watching the JFG sign go on and off, greeting the neighbors, discussing the political situation, congratulating the preacher on his sermon. There was always radio which brought us songs from WLAC in Nashville and what we would now call easy listening or smooth jazz. But when I listened late at night with my portable that I was so proud of, tucked under my pillow, I heard Nat King Cole and Matt Dennis, June Christie and Ella Fitzgerald, and sometimes Sarah Vaughan singing Black Coffee, which I now drink. It was just called music. There was a bookstore uptown on Gay Street, which I visited and inhaled that wonderful odor of new books. Even today, I read hardcover as a preference, paperback only as a last resort. And up on the hill on Vine Street, the main black corridor, sat our Carnegie Library. Mrs. Long always glad to see you, the stereoscope always ready to show you faraway places to dream about. Mrs. Long asking, "What are you looking for today?" When I wanted Leaves of Grass or Alfred North Whitehead, she would go to the big library uptown, and I now know, hat in hand, to ask to borrow so that I might borrow. Probably they said something humiliating, since Southern whites like to humiliate Southern blacks. But she nonetheless brought the books back, and I held them to my chest, close to my heart, and happily skipped back to grandmother's house, where I would sit on the front porch in a gray glider and dream of a world far away. I I loved the world where I was. I was safe and warm, and grandmother gave me neck kisses when I was on my way to bed. But there was a world somewhere out there, and Mrs. Long opened that wardrobe, but no lions or witches scared me. I went through knowing there would be spring. What trouble looked.
All right, guys, so now we've listened to the poem and we've read the poem again. So now I want us to do some work with that. First, let's talk about what is a theme. Well, a theme of a literary work or text presents a big idea about life, a big idea about the world, or a big idea about human nature. So for example, these could be some themes. And it may not be about this book. It's just themes in general. You may read something and an example of a theme could be love is more powerful than hate, or war is never justified, or having too much pride could lead to your downfall. These are examples of themes. And all of these themes might be in one reading, because remember I said that a literary work, that's meaning a book or poem, can have multiple themes. It doesn't have to be just one theme inside of a text. So, today we are going to practice. I want us to respond to some open-ended responses that I have placed inside of Schoology. They're going to be labeled assessment, but they're not test. It's just labeled as an assessment inside of Schoology, but it is not a test. I just want to see where we're guiding our thinking. So there's 3 questions that are going to be inside of this assessment as open-ended responses. I want you to tell me, reading is important to the speaker because, and fill in the blank. Reading is important because, and fill in the blank. And then I want you to look at those 2 sentence frames. Reading is important to the speaker because, and reading is important because. What's the difference between these 2 sentences? What is the difference between reading is important to the speaker because and reading is important because? If you'd like, here you can pause the video and you can go and work on the previous mentioned questions. Remember, they are in Schoology and they are marked as an assessment, but they are not test. Please use complete sentences in your writing, guys. I look forward to seeing what you guys have. Now that we're back, I want us to think about the new instructional routine that we're going to introduce today. The new instructional routine that we're going to talk about today is called an evidence organizer. Why do we use an evidence organizer? Well, an evidence organizer is going to capture evidence from the text to support your idea. It's going to connect your thinking, and it's going to organize things that you observe before writing a response. So an evidence organizer is very important, guys. It's going to capture all of your evidence and organize it for you. Let's look at an example of an evidence organizer that we're going to be using today. So this is our instructional routine that we're going to be talking about today, and it is an evidence organizer. So in the first box, it asks us, what does the poem say about reading? Record text evidence below. So here you would go inside of your text and you would find where reading is mentioned and what does this say? What does the poem say about reading? How does this evidence develop a theme of the poem? Once you find out what the poem is saying about reading, what type of message can you take away from that portion of the text? What is the most important idea about reading that the poem conveys? You should be able to use this in complete sentences. But what is the most important idea about reading that the poem shows us? And the last one that you're going to put inside of your instructional evidence organizer is the idea is important to understand how reading builds knowledge because, and you're going to fill in the blank. So, once you guys have completed your evidence organizer, I want you to tell me, and I want you to write this inside of your response journal, how did the graphic organizer help build your understanding of the themes in a poem? How did it help you build your understanding of the themes in the poem? All right, guys, this is where we end for today. If you guys need any help, I'll be in my office hours if you'd like to discuss the assignments for today. See you guys soon and see you tomorrow.